All right, we begin by breathing deeply. And as we breathe deeply, you just allow yourself, if you will, as the best you can, relax, put your feet on the floor, if you will. Uncross your legs, if you will, just for this moment. Understanding that even though if you're used to meditating a different way, for this moment, put your feet on the floor. And allow your spine to be nice and erect. And again, sometimes we live in the slouch zone on the planet because we're not used to erect spines, but we have them. And these erect spines actually are protectors not only of the spinal tube and the spinal column and the spinal fluid, but the spine itself is the insulator of the electrical system of our body. The insulator. So this is what we want you to do now. Have your feet flat on the floor and allow yourself to see that spine. For the moment, don't even think about your body. And you might think, oh, I'm making myself sit up straight. But no, it's your spine that makes you sit up straight. So you allow yourself to just become the spine for a moment. Just really become it. And again, it's not as simple as just saying, oh, there's just a bone there. There are many, many vertebrae in that spine. Breathing deeply. They are connected. Some people, they don't have all the connection, but the spine is connected. But it's connected in such a way that it can move and rotate and do lots of things that gives us the capacity to be flexible, to bend. So allow yourself for a moment to become the spine, the first part of it being the vertebrae, the bones. And just allow yourself to only think about being the spine with all the vertebrae, including the coccyx, including the sacrum area, including, even in the sacrum, there's the sacrum there and it looks like it doesn't have a vertebrae, but there is still plates that allows a tiny little bit of flexibility in that sacrum area. Not the ones on the side for the pelvic wings, but even in that plate, there's places in that very solid plate known as the sacrum triangle that literally can flex and move. And so we want to begin to focus on those vertebrae one by one, sitting on top of each other and simultaneously become aware that they are not static, that they have a flexibility about them. And we all know that. Sometimes you get a niggle between your shoulders, or you get a niggle and you can just kind of move and you can feel that vertebrae reshift. But for today, what we want to do is ask the vertebrae to stack nicely on top of each other, despite any pattern you might carry from genetics or emotional or mental trauma. But one by one, stack the vertebrae and really take your time doing this so that you let your consciousness help shift your physical body into an alignment of uprightness. So starting at the coccyx, you begin to feel the coccyx, again, the tailbone, it's a little curved thing. But before we go up the vertebrae, we want you to feel that the coccyx also is related a lot to the root chakra. So we want you to feel that you are dropping a line of energy down to the planet, down through the crust of the earth, down past the crust where all the shenanigans are going on, down into the liquid magma, down past the magma, down through all the crystal plates in the earth, deeper and deeper and deeper, until you reach what would be the pineal gland of the earth. Again, it would be like the third eye for the Mother Earth. And again, you don't have to know what it is. You just have to visualize. I'm dropping that root chakra with that guide wire to the earth's pineal gland or third eye or ajna center. Simultaneously, we want you to feel going out of your feet where your arch is. Again, plugs going into the earth, not into the third dimensional matrix that we live in, but plugs of energy going down, down, past the crust, past the volcanic energy, down to the solid crystal plates, even further down where there were many artesian waters that have never been tapped by humanity. And the plugging in deeper and deeper to the Earth's physical matrix. Now, we like to think the physical matrix is just the crust, but the physical matrix is the volcano, is the magma, is the iron, are all the plates of crystals, are all the waterways, are all the ocean. So you align your feet and the root chakra, and then we begin one by one stacking our vertebrae one on top of the other. Breathing as you need to, exhaling as you need to, giving the body permission to show you and help you feel what an aligned spine feels like. The alignment isn't for posture. The alignment isn't for the physicality. The alignment we're talking about now is a thoroughfare for your own soul's energy to come through your body, through the antakarana, through the nadis, through the meridians, through the systems of the material form, through the nerves, through the blood, through the bones. But mostly we want to feel the spine erect, 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 so that then the dural tube, which is the spinal tube, can more easily be suspended instead of crunched with the tension that any of us may feel about anything in our lives. We're making space for the physicality, the instrument of physicality, to align. So as the vertebrae, one by one, help you understand, you can have more space maybe between L4 and L5. You can move a little vertebrae a little bit. And these are micro movements all the way up the spine, all the way into the neck, all the way then to where the cranium is. And the same thing, the cranium looks like a different thing from the spine, but it's a set of bones that are also built. All the bones are built to protect the inner organs. Breathing deeply. The spine is built to protect the inner pathways for energy, but also to protect the antakarana, the sacred channel that allows your soul's energy to come to you. Now, most of you know we have many lines of energy. But now as we feel the erectness of the spine, we feel the neck straightening up, we feel the brain allowing itself to not be lodged one place or another. We feel the lungs more able to breathe. We feel, as we do this alignment, that we are not so fixated on who we think we are, but we're more aware that we are an instrument, and we are calibrating ourselves through alignment to be more receptive to the more subtle energies that are coming through the subtle pathways of the chakras, of the nadis, the meridians. And with this, you allow yourself to say to yourself, I open my physical body. I welcome the opportunity to receive the highest alignment my body is capable of carrying. And I make the adjustments necessary for that alignment to occur. And you just feel yourself breathing into that different alignment. It's different than the alignment when you're bent over a desk or bent over a guitar or bent over a hoe. It's a different use of the apparatus. You're aligning to the subtle energy that is you, coming from your spirit, coming from your soul to create you as an earth vessel. And as you do this, you allow yourself to begin to become aware of any constrictions you have in your body. Again, some have it in the feet, some in the knees, some in the throat. But you don't become the constriction. Rather, you let your body know, I'm aware of that heat at that place. I'm aware of that energy that's stuck there. I'm aware of the holding in my jaw. I'm aware. And you can become aware of it without becoming those things. You can see it only as energy. And as you do this, you allow yourself to say, I open my etheric body. I ask for a calibration of the more subtle energy so that I may receive the infusion of light coming to adjust the frequencies of earth. So I am working in tandem with planetary energy, as well as possibly genetic energy, as well as personality energy, as well as ego energy. But you surrender the earth vessel back to the earth and what she is doing in her adjustments through the plates, through the magnetics. And you just begin to make space within the earth vessel to be just that, space. Of course, the vessel is created to contain an idea, an individuated consciousness, which deeply, at some level, is not individuated at all, but you get to have the illusion of the individuation. But for now, you want to align the body to perceive the space that is the vessel, the container of all things. And of course, space doesn't contain anything because space is always moving and expanding. So you let yourself expand. The space between the cells. You let yourself expand. The tension between the muscles. You let yourself breathe space. And give yourself breathing room. This is what giving yourself breathing room is. You let the cells open so you can inhale this breath of consciousness, this breath of prana, this breath of electricity, this breath of consciousness, this breath of love, this breath of creation. There's a point between the inhale and the exhale. And what we want to do before we go to the mental body and the emotional body is to just be that breath, but don't feel you have to hold it. You be it, and then you stop at the point between the out-breath and be the space that is. And then you exhale. And then you again begin to feel that the space itself is breathing you. That consciousness itself is breathing you. You are not doing it. You might have impediments that make you feel you have to force the breath, but consciousness is breathing you. And whatever story you're playing out. And that space between the in-breath and the out-breath gives you the breathing room you need now, not to be the story of the body or the thoughts or the feelings or even the congested energy. And in that space of not being that individuated congestion, then you can exhale the impediment to that opening of space. As you do this, you allow yourself to say, I open my mental body. I align and calibrate the mental body to the higher waves of light that are encoded for the great change that is coming. And for a moment, you just begin, if you will, in your mind's eye to, you might have seen the pictures of a cyclone that was here, this kind of turbine of energy. You might have seen pictures of the hurricane, the typhoons, the tornadoes, hurricanes of energy. You might have seen the image of the whirlies that appear on our world with the big dust storms. But you begin to see the Milky Way as just that, a turbine of energy. You're not afraid of it. You're in it. And so is Earth. And so is the sun. And just for a moment, you become the Milky Way with all the systems that are in there. And you realize you have a magnetic, the Earth has a magnetic, the sun has a magnetic, the other stars have magnetics. The Milky Way has a magnetic. And then also there's Andromeda, another galaxy very close to us, and it has a magnetic. And you begin to feel this huge turbine of magnetism. And in the space between seeing the Milky Way and perceiving Andromeda, you let space be. You don't have to be attached to the Milky Way because the Milky Way is in space, Andromeda's in space. But these two galaxies are beginning to dance together. And you begin to feel each of your cells being scintillated, vibrated simultaneously by the magnetics of your idea of yourself, your ego, your DNA, your personality, the planet, the sun, the galaxy, Andromeda, and space. And you begin to feel that you're dancing. Waves are dancing through you. Waves are moving you. Like the waves of the ocean pick up the sand and they move them and they redistribute the sand. Some days beaches are taken and some days beaches are made. Some days starfish wash up and some days starfish go back. Some days jellyfish wash up and some days jellyfish goes back. Some days big whales dead come up. And you just begin to feel the wave motion of the magnetics as these two turbines, and the sun's turbine and the earth's turbine and your turbine and your parents' turbine and the genetic turbine and your soul's turbine, and you find a center point in your heart. And you let the center point of all of this activity be your heart. Not just the physical heart, but the emotional body. Again, it's hard to do that when the emotional body has tainted with all the imprints of hurt and sadness. So we're not going to focus on that in the emotional body. We're going to focus on the heart being the center point of all this magnetics that is occurring now. We're going to rest the minds and not try to sort it all out. We're just going to sit now with the heart. And let the emotional body be pulled by the magnetics to and fro with no fear of what it is. As you say to yourself, I open my emotional body. I relax and enjoy the modulation of energies that are assisting me and to release all the old baggage that I do not need to carry in the transformed, transfigured light body that I am to be. Allow yourself now to feel like you are a master of a ship. And that ship is your body, your earth vessel, and you, the master of it, coming from the soul, can always look back to the blueprint of the soul to know, where are you really to go? What are you really supposed to pay attention to? Where are the waves moving you, and how do you work with the waves? When they are big waves, there is no standing against them. There is only working with them and becoming them. And sometimes if they feel too big, you have to duck. But you go for safety under the wave, because the wave moves through you. Your body doesn't stop with, I don't want that wave to hit me. If it does, you get hit. Your body recognizes, I am the ocean. I am the earth who is moving the earthquakes. I am the cyclones. I am an electromagnetic field of energy that vibrationally can receive and release. As needed, receive and release to stay afloat. All right, breathing deeply. When you're ready, open your eyes.